Oh, Ambati Rayudu, you've only gone and done it again. Now, in case any of you are wondering why it is I chose to start off this video in that particular fashion, well, it's because Chennai Super Kings batsman Ambati Rayudu ended up causing quite the stir on social media and in the cricketing world when he took to Twitter to announce his IPL retirement. That's right. In fact, he put out a very simple tweet saying, "I'm happy to announce that this, meaning the 2022 edition, will be my last IPL. I have had a wonderful time playing it and being a part of two great teams for 13 years. Would love to sincerely thank Mumbai Indians and CSK for the wonderful journey." Now, seems simple enough, right? Seems like the ending of a wonderful IPL career, except in this case, it really was just the beginning of a story to which we still don't have all the details just yet. Why? Because he posted the tweet announcing his IPL retirement, but barely 30 minutes later, he ended up deleting that tweet. Now, obviously, people were wondering what was the matter. Why was the tweet suddenly deleted? Was that something that he said in anger or haste? Has he walked back his decision? Well, as it turns out, that was exactly what it was, because Chennai Super Kings CEO Kashi Vishwanathan has gone on record and told Sports Today as well as other news outlets that he will not be retiring and that in fact he will be playing in the IPL for at least another season. What the issues were exactly, well, that's not something that we have full access to just yet. But what we do know is that in the case of Ambati Rayudu, it's just yet another incident in a series of very unfortunate incidents that have plagued him. And I'm not even just talking about retirement stories, although there have been quite a few, as I am going to document here in this next slide. Now, as we can see that in his early career, bear in mind that Rayudu was part of the under-19 team in 2004, and in 2007, after having numerous fallouts with the cricket authorities in his domestic team, he ended up controversially choosing to join the now defunct Indian Cricket League, or the rebel cricket league that was known as the ICL. He would, of course, eventually make a comeback into the domestic scheme of things thanks to the BCCI's amnesty offer, and he would make his IPL debut in 2010. That time, of course, he played for the Mumbai Indians. But if you thought that that was to be the first controversial moment of his career, well, sadly, that wasn't necessarily the case. And as we're going to explore, Rayudu does indeed have a history of retiring and unretiring in the past. He's done this before, and well, he's just gone and done it again. If you remember very clearly, he retired from first class cricket in 2018, and to his credit, that is a retirement that has in fact stuck. The reason he suddenly chose to retire from international cricket was, or from first class cricket, was that he saw no chances of playing international test cricket for India, and he wanted to prolong his white ball career. Remember, at that point, he was India's designated number 4 in ODI and T20I cricket. However, even that was a move that backfired, because just before the 2019 ICC World Cup, he was dropped from the side due to poor form, and his place was taken by Vijay Shankar. Now, after that, he put out a controversial tweet, of course, the 3D glasses tweet, as it's now referred to. And to make things worse, even after Vijay Shankar was injured, he was not looked at for a spot in the reserves, and he was not called up to the Indian team. Thus, he out of nowhere announced his retirement from not just international, but from all forms of cricket. That's right. He would eventually choose to come back to IPL and domestic white ball cricket, but his international retirement has since stuck. He's not played for India again. But as we said, that's not the only controversial aspect to his career. He's had multiple run-ins with not just authorities, but also opposition players, umpires, and even teammates. Because if we remember, he has had an on-field spat with Harbhajan Singh when the two of them were teammates in the Mumbai Indians. And of course, in domestic cricket, he's had run-ins with the umpires. He's also had a run-in with an opposition player who ended up hitting him with a stump. So, safe to say, Rayudu is one of those people who, when his anger does often, let's just say, tend to get the better of him. But it does seem like, at least for now, this issue has been resolved, whatever the issue may be. But speaking not only from Rayudu's perspective, it's important to look at the story from the Chennai Super Kings perspective as well. And it doesn't really look too good for the team, as we're going to check out here. Because this entire little saga, and bear in mind that we don't quite know the backstory behind it just yet, so there could very easily be more things to follow. It just has added to the woes of the team. Remember, in 2020, which was with the first IPL that was held in a delayed fashion after the coronavirus pandemic had actually brought everything to a halt. Suresh Raina caused a lot of controversy when he left the bio bubble from the UAE. There was a major spat between him and team owner N. Srinivasan. Eventually, Raina was brought back to the fold for 2021, but he didn't play too many games. And in the 2022 auction, he went unsold. CSK didn't even bid for him. But that's not the only thing that has caused CSK problems in recent times. They went on to win the 2021 IPL, but as things stand, they're already out of the 2022 IPL. The last two of all teams, Mumbai Indians, confirmed that they're not going to be making the playoffs and they will not be able to defend their title. And of course, there's also the fact that the team did struggle with a transition in captaincy. Remember earlier this year, Ravindra Jadeja was handed the captaincy, and then just about halfway into the season, captaincy was taken away from him again, and MS Dhoni was reinstated as skipper. And to make things worse, Jadeja has now been ruled out of the IPL 2022 with an injury, but which many suspect is actually just a cover because he's had some sort of a falling out with the IPL team. Again, bear in mind that a lot of this is just news reports. There has been nothing confirmed. The official line from the Chennai Super Kings camp is that he has suffered an injury and that is why he's left the bubble. He will not be available, but it remains to be seen whether or not he has already played his last game for the Chennai Super Kings. So there's a lot of things that have been causing issues for the franchise in recent times, and to make matters worse, they haven't exactly been the most successful of teams, because despite winning IPL 2021, they're already out of the reckoning for the playoff race this time around, despite the fact that as things stand, the 7 teams who are vying for the remaining 3 places. Now, this obviously will not bode well for the team, and this sort of a headache which came with Ambati Rayudu's retirement that wasn't, would have been exactly the last thing that they wanted. Will this be the last thing that haunts them? Again, we don't really know, but if it is indeed, if there are more developments in this story, we will be bringing them all. For now, that is it from my side. I thank you all so very much for joining us in this particular video. If you enjoyed what it is that we shared with you, don't forget to like the video, don't forget to share the video, don't forget to comment, leave your thoughts, tell us what you think of Rayudu's tendencies to retire then unretire. And last but not the least, don't forget to download the Gamezy app for all of your fantasy gaming needs. You stand a chance of winning up to 5 crores daily, and you can make teams across multiple phases throughout just one game. So what are you waiting for? Use the link in our descriptor to download it and get some bonus cash. As always,